Good evening. I'd like to call this meeting to order at 5:01 p.m. and announce that the board will meet in closed session to address items 1 through 3. Mr. Superintendent, are there any public comment on items 1 through 3?
No.
Thank you very much. Then I'll close public comment and recess into closed session. All right, I'd like to call this meeting back to order at 6:06 p.m. and announce that the board met in closed session and the following action was taken. By a vote of 7-0, the board took action to approve certificated dismissal charges and placed a certificated teacher on unpaid suspension as permitted by law. Welcome back to the Elk Grove Unified School District's board meeting. Live streaming of full in-person board meetings is available to the public by using the link located on the district's website. Today's meeting is being video recorded and will be available on the district's YouTube channel. We encourage you to attend the meetings and share your feedback with the board. Your active participation is valued and contributes to the decision-making process. Some notes on public comment. During regular board meetings, the public may make public comment for items on the agenda and items not on the agenda. Requests to make public comment will be accepted for an item up until the board president introduces the item. Generally, members of the public will be given 3 minutes to address the board. If there are 15 or more comments on a specific item, the board will reduce individual comment time to 2 minutes each. If there are 30 or more comments on a specific item, the board will reduce individual comment time to 1 minute each. Individuals may not defer their time to another individual speaker to increase their total speaking time. Please be mindful that district students may be watching. You are encouraged to address the board and the public in a respectful manner such that all those observing, from children to adults, are made to feel welcome, safe, and valued. The board shall not permit any disturbance or willful interruption of board meetings. Persistent disruption by any individual or group shall be grounds for the board president to provide a warning and then to terminate the individual's privilege of addressing the board. Now for our land acknowledgement, Mr. Zhang.
We acknowledge that the Elk Grove Unified School District administrative facilities and schools occupy the unceded territory of the Miwok, the original people of the skies, land, and waters, where we work and learn. The Miwok have cared for these lands since time immemorial. They continue to teach their traditional knowledge that comes from and responds to the needs of the land and people who share it. May our daily lives and work teaching, learning, leadership, and community engagement support the evolving vision of the Miwok for the community and these lands. May we strive to acknowledge the past for the betterment of our future generations. May we look to our tribal partners, the Wilton Rancheria, and the descendants of the original people of this land to assist with the successful education of our community.
Thank you very much. And for our Pledge of Allegiance today, we'll be recognizing one of our education partners from Isabel Jackson Elementary School, Ms. Catherine Garcia. Please come on up to the podium. And in the meantime, Ms. Davis, I'll hand it off to you.
Isabel Jackson Elementary School is honored to recognize Ms. Catherine Garcia and her family as our education partners. Ms. Garcia, her husband Oscar, and their children Owen in 6th, Dean in 2nd, and Lilith in K, have been a part of Jackson Elementary community for 3 years. In that time, they've quickly become a cornerstone of our school community. Ms. Garcia led the charge to revive our PTA, bringing it back with heart, energy, and a strong vision for family engagement. Under her leadership, the PTA has organized events like Trunk or Treat and family movie nights, and overnight science camp became a reality for our 6th graders for the first time in over a decade. She has just completed her first term as PTA president and bravely signed on for round 2. Mr. Garcia has been quiet but a powerful force behind many of these efforts. Whether he's setting up tables or making Panera magically appear for the staff, he steps up, though possibly with a little encouragement from Miss Garcia. Their oldest son, Owen, proudly serves as our school mascot, Izzy, and even performed a rap at our standardized testing rally. His effort helped to spread positivity around testing and support a favorable school environment overall. The Garcia family reminds us of what it means to show up, serve others, and lead with heart. On behalf of the entire Isabel Jackson Elementary community, thank you, Garcia family, for your commitment to our students, staff, and school.
I'd like to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. We pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, indivisible, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right, next up, our presentation on elementary and secondary school recognitions. Ms. Avey and Mr. Schweitzer.
President Vargas, members of the board, Superintendent Hoffman, and Ms. Avalos. The Board of Education is requested to recognize our elementary and secondary school sites who have received state-level recognition during the 2024-25 school year. In March of this year, State Superintendent of Public Instruction, Tony Thurman, announced that 336 elementary schools were honored under the 2025 California Distinguished Schools Award. The program recognizes two categories of exceptional schools, those that are closing the achievement gap and those demonstrating exceptional student performance. With us tonight, a little photo I want to put up here when I finish. With us tonight, we have Carroll Elementary, represented by their amazing principal, Jack Ferreira, and Robert J. Fite, represented by their amazing principal, Diane Standring. Both of these schools are being recognized for closing the achievement gap and for demonstrating growth for student groups that have experienced persistent achievement gaps over time. They also have shown growth for all students.
Thank you, Jen. And we're also honored to recognize Dr. Toby Page and Vice Principal Paul Delgado, who are here from Calvine High School tonight. Each year, the California Department of Education recognizes model continuation high schools. The Model Continuation High School Recognition Program identifies and recognizing outstanding programs that provide comprehensive services to at-risk youth through the use of exemplary instructional strategies, flexible scheduling, and guidance through their counseling services. The Model Continuation High School Recognition in 24-25 highlights Calvine's commitment to more than just diploma attainment. It celebrates our student-centered approach, flexible learning support, and preparation for life beyond graduation, whether that's for college or career. So the board's also requested to recognize Calvine High School for being named a Model Continuation High School.
Thank you very much.
Pictures? Yeah.
Do we want pictures?
Yeah.
All
Yes.
right. Everybody head down.
Come on down. And while you're making your way over, we just put up a photo from where the schools were recognized at Disneyland this year. So you can see a picture of Mr. Ferreira and Mrs. Standring receiving their awards. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well done, Tony. Really nice job.
What was the second elementary school?
Thank you again, and congratulations to our wonderful teams. Next up is our resolutions. First up, National Suicide Prevention Awareness Month. Mr. Singh.
Good evening, members of the board, President Vargas, Superintendent Hoffman, community, colleagues. It's fitting that it's actually resolution number 1. So look at that. The board is requested to approve resolution number 1, recognizing September 2025 as Suicide Prevention Awareness Month. September is National Suicide Prevention Awareness Month. Although suicide prevention is important to address year-round, Suicide Prevention Awareness Month is dedicated time to work together and to act on reducing stigma, encourage help seeking, connect individuals with suicidal ideation to services, and finally reduce the impact of suicide on family and friends. Suicide is a preventable health problem, yet the Center for Disease Control reports that in 2023, suicide was among the top 8 leading causes of death for people ages 10 to 64, and the second leading cause of death for people ages 10 to 34. The overall suicide rate in the United States has increased by approximately 36% from 2000 to 2022. Sad, but reality. The stigma associated with mental health conditions and suicidality works against suicide prevention by discouraging persons at risk for suicide from seeking life-saving help. By recognizing Suicide Prevention Awareness Month, the district is shedding light on this highly taboo and stigmatized topic. EGUSD is dedicated to educating and encouraging students, staff, and families to recognize the warning signs of suicide and to guide those in need of appropriate services and support. While the district has communicated the importance of suicide awareness in the Elk Grove Unified School District Parent and Student Handbook, through school messages and on ID cards, this resolution memorializes the district's intent to further amplify the importance of suicide awareness and build an annual public awareness campaign on the support and the services available to our students and families. With that, it's my honor to ask the board to actually approve Resolution 1, which will recognize September 2025 as Suicide Prevention Awareness Month.
Thank you very much. Mr. Yang, do we have any blue cards on this item?
Yeah, Board President, we do have one blue card on this item. Calling on Curb Thompson.
Hi. It was late September 2006. I received a phone call in my dorm room from my brother, letting me know that my dad had decided to make by far the worst decision of his life. My dad took his own life in the home I spent the majority of my school-age years living in. Almost 19 years later, I'd be lying if I said that day doesn't still incite every single one of the 5 stages of grief in me. 19 years later, I'm still open to the silly idea that it was an accident or some other way that allows me to be in denial about what happened. 19 years later, I am still angry with my dad for making such a selfish decision. 19 years later, I still bargain within myself with thoughts like, if I just talked to him a little bit longer during our last conversation, he might still be here, and he would have been able to meet his grandkids. 19 years later, I still get depressed and shed a few tears when I think about that day and all he's missed since. But 19 years later, I'm still able to accept the fact that my dad is gone. And while he left in a terrible way, I have so many life lessons I learned from him, including and especially what not to do. Now, some people think that this only affects one person, but I can tell you from experience, suicide does not only affect the person dying. It tears apart families, it damages children, and it leaves a gaping hole in friends groups. If you are out there and you think your life doesn't matter to anybody, you're wrong. It matters to more people than you realize. Now, generally, I don't like quoting Bible verses because I know not everyone shares my faith, but anyone out there who's a bit down on themselves and you just can't find purpose and a reason to go on, I recommend Psalms 139:14. I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. You are made in the image of God for a purpose. Find your purpose. Do not allow a temporary mental state to lead to an irreversibly selfish and destructive decision. You are better than that, and you deserve better than that from yourself. So I want to thank the board for bringing this resolution forward. As we start the new school year, I hope you manage your priorities in a way that allows our young men and women, boys and girls, an opportunity to find that purpose that inspires them to get out of bed every day. And I'll be sure to let you know if I don't think you're doing that. Because there are 2 kids attending school in this district who are my purpose for getting out of bed every day. Thank you.
Thank you. That ends the blue card on this item, Board President.
Thank you very much. Then I will entertain a motion to adopt Resolution Number 1, recognizing September 2025 as Suicide Prevention Awareness Month.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Yang.
Second.
Seconded by Ms. Ballerini. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next up is Constitution Day. Mr. Collier. Excuse me, Dr. Collier.
No problem. Good evening, President Vargas, members of the board, Superintendent Hoffman, Ms. Avalos, colleagues, and members of the public. The Board of Education is asked to adopt Resolution Number 4, designated September 17th, 2025 as Constitution Day. September 17th, 2025 will be the 238th anniversary of the formation and signing of the Constitution of the United States of America. The finalizing of the Constitution had taken place after months of deliberation and discussion. It would be many more months before the Constitution was ratified by the states. In March 1789, the Constitution was declared to be in effect by the first U.S. Congress. The Constitution that still governs and guides our country today has had a significant political influence around the world. The values and beliefs that are represented in this document are ones with which citizens of our country should be familiar. In 2004, Congress created a federal holiday, Constitution Day, designated to be September 17th. In May 2005, the U.S. Department of Education stipulated that all schools that receive federal monies must hold an educational program pertaining to the United States Constitution on September 17th of each year. Through this resolution, the Board of Education would communicate a clear message about the importance of our country's foundational governing document, as well as the importance of civic values. In support of this resolution and in recognition of Constitution Day, the Curriculum and Professional Learning Department will provide school sites with information and resources for observing Constitution Day at their sites. Again, the Board of Education is being asked to adopt Resolution Number 4, designating September 17th, 2025 as Constitution Day.
Thank you very much. Mr. Yang, are there any blue cards on this item?
Board President, there's no blue card on this item.
Very well, then I will entertain a motion to adopt Resolution Number 4, designating September 17th, 2025 as Constitution Day.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Yang.
Second.
Seconded by Ms. Ballerini. Any board discussion? All right. Seeing none, we'll move to the vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you very much. Next up is Citizenship and Civic Learning. Dr. Collier again.
Okay, in alignment with Constitution Day, we have Citizenship and Civic Learning. The Board of Education is requested to adopt Resolution Number 3, which supports citizenship and civic learning. It is the goal of Elk Grove Unified School District to prepare all of our students for success in college, career, and civic life, to be model citizens who contribute to their local communities. Schools are a critical place for students to develop the civic knowledge, skills, and values needed to effectively participate in our democracy by having classroom instruction in government, history, law, and democracy, discussion of current events, service learning, extracurricular or co-curricular activities, student voice in school governance, and simulation of democratic processes. Students who engage in the community and participate in civic action gain knowledge about school, local, and global issues and are prepared to succeed in college, career, and life. The State Seal of Civic Engagement helps further advance Elk Grove Unified School District's commitment to preparing students to be world-ready and expand civic literacy. 12th grade students in Elk Grove Unified School District will be eligible to earn the California State Seal of Civic Engagement on their diploma when meeting the civic engagement requirements. In support of this resolution, this year the Curriculum and Professional Learning Department will provide resources for teachers to implement civic engagement activities or projects that address real-world problems. The Board of Education is requested to adopt Resolution Number 3, which supports citizenship and civic learning.
Thank you very much. Mr. Yang, are there any blue cards on this item?
Board President, there's no blue card on this item.
Very well, then I will entertain a motion to adopt Resolution Number 3, which supports citizenship and civic learning.
So move.
Moved by Mr. Yang,
Second.
seconded by Ms. Ballerini. Any discussion?
Yeah. Yeah, I would like to make a comment. The fact that I am a refugee to this country and citizenship and civic learning is something that is brand new to me, my family, and the hundreds of thousands of folks that came to this country as refugees, and perhaps some other more that came in as immigrants. And I think that learning the citizenship and civic learning literacy, it's very important. And I think it's not their duty only for the new immigrants or refugees, but it is our duty as a school board to educate them regularly so that they know the importance of citizenship is and civic engagement literacy is. Because a lot of time it's not the folks who don't know the importance of it, but it's once they learn the importance of it, they will be more than willing to participate as a good citizens and play a role in civic service. So I just wanted to acknowledge that citizenship and civic learning is very critical for new Americans. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other board members?
I have a quick question. I don't expect you to know this right off the top of your head, Mr. Schweitzer. I would just love to know how many students earned that seal on their diplomas.
Definitely can that for you.
Excellent. All right, seeing no further comments, I will move to the vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you very much. All right, next up is public comment for items not on the agenda. Mr. Yang, do we have any blue cards?
Board President, we do have one blue card on this item not on agenda, calling on Marcos Dollar. Come on up, sir.
Good evening. My name is Marcos Dalla. I submitted an agenda for a violation of IDL and FAPE recognition for my daughter. 3 of my daughters are here with me. 1 of my daughter is disabled, and she was denied last year to continue her education and physical therapy. Then I have to keep her home, and I submitted agenda to be included as our district is home for 11,000 disabled students, some form of disabled student, and this agenda was excluded. I respectfully require or ask this committee to include the agenda. These people are vulnerable and they need to be heard. And also, it's beyond my comprehension how this agenda was excluded, but this is why I am here. All the 3 students that I brought to this district, 2 of them were accepted immediately. Application was submitted March 31st, 2024 for transfer from Sacramento Unified School District, and April 1st, 2 of them were accepted. One was with a disability, was excluded, no communication. We tried to communicate. We went up and down. We tried to get district, school. None of them are responding. And also, even today, I submitted this to Area 5 representative, superintendent, and also this is, for me, it's like overwhelming. You know, a gentleman by the name Amrik Sign walk up to me now and says he's going to communicate to me tomorrow. I mean, he's going to call me tomorrow for the email that I sent out 2 weeks ago to include on the agenda here. And also, the Mark Twain's, the former school for my daughter, called the district to forward her active IEP for the district, for this district on May 8th, and the May 8th call or email was responded as explained to me as immediate response by Nicole Hall, immediate response after 5 days, May 13th, and they have accepted that document from forwarded from Sacramento Unified School District on May 19th, 2024. That did not start. I went with my wife and my little daughter, like mentioning, because she's crying in the house, she wanna go to school, and I took her as her first day of school, and we walked into the front desk. They denied us. My daughter was crying right in the front office. It's in the morning time. I mean, oh.
Sorry, sir, your time is up.
So I actually request the formal agenda to be included. I didn't explain much of the issues.
Thank you. I understand. So we can't have a conversation now, but appropriate staff will follow up.
The answer blue card on this.
Thank you very much. All right, next up is the consent agenda. Mr. Yang, are there any blue cards on the consent agenda?
Board President, there is no blue card on this item.
Excellent. Then I will entertain, would any board members like to pull an item from the consent agenda? Seeing none, then I will entertain a motion to approve items 1 through 20 on the consent agenda.
So move.
Moved by Mr. Yang.
Second.
Seconded by Ms. Ballerini. Any additional comments? All right, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you very much. Bargaining units. Would any bargaining units like to address the board? All right. All right, we have one discussion item today. It's start of schools, 2025-26. Dr. Coates.
Well, good evening, President Vargas, members of the board, Superintendent Hoffman, Ms. Avalos, staff, and community that are watching. This is a collective presentation capturing really the work that we've done to get ready to launch our 2025-2026 school year. So I'm excited to be here tonight to kick off the presentation. Really, it doesn't stop in Elk Grove Unified, certainly not with our expanded learning opportunities programs, and certainly our year-round elementary education. We are constantly working around the clock, all of the different departments and with summer school. So here is a snapshot of the last few months that we have taken. We've already had one successful start to the year. In 2025-26, we are projected to serve just under 64,000 students from transitional kindergarten through 12th grade. And another 2,000 plus in our preschool and adult education programs throughout the school year. We have moved to the 4th largest district of the state as we continue to grow. Our first day of school for tracks B, C, and D was July 16th. That was a great launch. We had just over 11,000 students attend on that very first day. We, as you know, we have not started our modified traditional. That's next week, and then our A track starts. But all in all, as of we were putting this together, we had over 64,000 students, almost 65,000 students enrolled in our Synergy. We know all of those students won't necessarily show up, so we'll be monitoring and cleaning up that data as we go. But really excited to launch with such strong enrollment growth. So we do have some upgrades throughout the district. Our facilities teams, our maintenance and operations teams have been busy. This is just certainly not comprehensive, but a snapshot of projects that have gone all throughout the district. We've looked at quad areas, turf replacement, CTE programs, locker room upgrades. Nutrition services are in back to school in services, getting ready to serve about 47,000 meals a day. And next week, and we're really focusing on the training for scratch cooking. We have a chef and really trying to implement the rigorous food requirements, the nutrition requirements for great taste. So the cookies are good and healthy. Our transportation department, travels more than 2.5 million miles per year. It's really impressive when you think about that. We serve 145 daily routes with 155 drivers daily, and we have 175 buses in service, including 16 of those electric vehicles, and for 5,000 that are home to school transports. A public service announcement, we did move how families can track their bus rides with the My Ride K-12 app. So if your child is a bus rider, please take a look at that and download for real-time transportation updates on their route. I've already mentioned maintenance and operations, but they are truly busy. They focus really from the ceiling to the floor as we go through schools and make sure that we have a deep clean. We look at various flooring projects. You can see some of the schools that we highlight. One of the keys that came out of our facility master plan was intercom replacements as a safety item. So we continue that really focused work, and we're going to continue to do that. Landscaping, deep cleaning, making sure our TK and kinder carpets are shampooed and vacuumed. It's really critical. So as you can see, a lot of work going on, and here's just more images to highlight that. Purchasing, warehouse, and printing services. So if you could just look at the 2-month period of time there, they processed nearly 2,500 purchase orders, over 12 million purchase orders processed just in that 2-month period of time. We picked up 63 pickups for like surplus. So when teachers are getting rid of stuff in their classroom or they're going through their own purge, our warehouse team is out picking those up. So it's not a safety issue or an eyesore. And then just as we get ready for the start of the year, we're printing 1 to 2 pallets of paper a day. Hard to believe. Risk management goes out and they inspect every single playground structure. So really important, making sure that they're age appropriate, that we're making repairs and replacing those as needed. Lots of different trainings, chemical inventories, all the things we don't want our families, our teachers, and our principals having to worry about. That's our job. And so they have been out since the end of the school year, really making sure that these systems are in place. And with that, I'm going to, there she is, send it over to Corey Buckmeister.
Good evening, everyone. So I'm here to just provide a few updates with regards to our hiring as we support the start of the year. So just a quick reminder for our board and to share with our community at home. We have 6,668 contracted staff supporting our students throughout our district. So a lot of wonderful people providing services to our students every day. We have over 2,500 combined certificated and classified substitutes that also come in and cover when someone needs to be away from work for a day or so. We also, to recruit teachers, we have 84 agreements with universities for student teachers to go their field experience, as well as internships to continue our work to recruit the best and brightest teachers for our districts. And then this year, we expect to have 50 student teachers, as well as 55 interns for nursing, special education, counselors, and psychologists. So just wanted to share that great data for our recruitment efforts. Oops. All right. So another key piece to getting ready for the year is helping our classrooms get staffed. So we have 394 certificated employees newly hired. And then we also have, just in our most recent months, 173 classified newly hired. But I just want to call out, we hire classified all year long. So it's not a hire over the summer process for classified. We hire classified all year long. And then I also wanted to call out that our department, just in the past few months, has screened and cleared over 800 new volunteers to be fingerprinted, to get into our communities and be a part of community engagement supporting that work. So we're excited to report about that. And some of the pictures that you see here in this slide, for example, these are our mentors for our REACH program, which is a program that we have in place to develop our special education teachers. And then we have a great staff member here showing our fingerprinting process. All right. For recruiting, Elk Grove, for our district, we hosted 3 recruitment events, a couple for our certificated staff and 1 for classified vacancies. We also attended 10 out in the community. That includes our university partners as well as community-based organizations to get the word out about Elk Grove and the positions we have available. For our recruitment events, we had over 200 candidates participate for our certificated recruitment events. We had 45 contingent offers made there to help fill our vacancies. And for our classified recruitment event, we had over 300 with 80 applications submitted to our substitute pools. So we had some very strong turnout for our events this year. And we have some pictures here at the bottom to show some of the excellent work of staff to engage with our community. All right, and I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Barber to talk about tech services.
Thank you, Corey. Good evening, everyone. My slide is informationally dense, so bear with me as I go through some of these updates. I want to start off by thanking all the dedicated employees in the Technology Services Department, without whom I wouldn't be able to share these great updates about our progress. So one of the things that we do in our department is work and collaborate with our facilities team. The Technology Services staff always works to break down computer and AV equipment in every classroom that we modernize throughout the district. Once the modernizations are complete, we return the equipment, reconnect everything, and ensure that the classrooms are ready for when our teachers return. We're generally one of the first groups to enter the classroom to break things down, and generally one of the last groups to go back in and reset everything when the project is nearly complete. Also, we completed phase 2 of our classroom AV project. We're near completion, I should say. We have about 30 classrooms that will be wrapped up this month, and then the project will be complete. In total, we all have completed about 1,300 rooms in this phase, the end result being that we'll have a uniform classroom AV standard across the district, and having a uniform solution simplifies instruction for our teachers when they move from room to room or from school site to school site. Renovations to the boardroom and the district office, including the installation of our backup generator for a data center, were also big accomplishments this year. In terms of equipment, our annual processing of Chromebooks took place as it has the past several years. We're also working on our transition from Windows 10 to Windows 11 as mandated by Microsoft. That project is underway. We're not only upgrading the operating system, but also transitioning to cloud-based device management and authentication. Behind the scenes, these updates will allow us to better manage and secure district-owned laptops, both on our network and off-site. We recently kicked off a migration to a new cloud-managed phone system, and we're completing our pilot sites with that program this week. The new phone system will replace our existing solution, which the manufacturer has discontinued. Once fully implemented, the new phone system will greatly simplify billing and ultimately save the district money in annual telecom expenses. Moving on to accounts and access, each year there's many processes that take place to roll over students in our student information system from one grade level to the next. Our team is also continually processing access requests for staff to add, remove, or modify permissions. In regards to Synergy, our Synergy application support team supports our school sites with additional annual tasks to prepare the SIS for the new school year with things like new calendars, new bell schedules, and a lot more. Parent View, our parent and guardian interface, has been updated with the latest student handbook, and the required prompts for acknowledgments and our annual verifications have been set up for our parents to submit. Finally, some projects that we're excited about. We completed an update of our enterprise backup system to ensure that we keep our important data secure. We continually deliver professional development to our faculty and staff, and at the beginning of the year, we're particularly focused on technology integration trainings for our teachers. Finally, last but not least, we're excited for what's to come this year with our AI task force. We just completed our second AI Education Partners Community Forum last night. Our task force will begin meeting on August 21st. One of our primary goals with this task force is to develop and draft an AI policy and guidelines. We also plan to develop and deliver helpful PD for all EGUSD staff. And with that, I'm turning it over to Mr. Schweitzer.
Thank you, sir. So elementary and secondary ed, we partner very closely with our safety and security department. Each year, our safety and security management team, they meet with our principals and site administrators to walk through each of their site's safety plan that they complete by October. Next week, we'll be going through training with all of our campus supervisors, specialists, and management. And there's a wide variety of topics that are going to be covered with mental health and de-escalation techniques, heat, illness, and awareness, ongoing Narcan training, and then this year we're going to add in restorative practices for them. Staff also work closely with our administration and school site staff to walk through campuses as they're doing drills, fire drills and lockdown drills, to identify any potential vulnerabilities that they might experience in that process. Each year we also update and restock all of our crisis response boxes. Variety of information in there with maps, first aids, master keys, schedules, etc. in case of a crisis. All of our flip charts are currently being printed right now, and they have the procedures that are new with EdCode, with emergency procedures for Narcan, administering Narcan, as well as how to use the AED defibrillators and their locations on campus. And then most recently, I know a few of you were there at Pleasant Grove High School. We had our active shooter drill with multiple agencies, our entire safety and security department, all of our SROs, Elk Grove Police Department, and Sacramento County Sheriff's Department participated in multiple scenarios over a couple of day period for active shooter training. So very helpful for our teams to be involved in that and kind of see the most real life scenario that we can offer.
All right, we'll kick off education services in schools. So in elementary education, we've been focused with our very long summer. Our year-round folks have been in session for almost a year, making sure that our site leaders and our families have what they need to be able to start the year. So a lot of that planning starts in January and February, down from materials to having things repaired, getting people enrolled at the right schools. We also have a renewed focus on teaching and learning, and that's teaching and learning at all levels. what we're doing within our own division to expedite the systems that we have in place so that we can provide better service and support to our site leaders, and they can do the same thing for the teachers and staff that they support. In our administrative world, we've had the opportunity to have some friends who've retired and entered a new part of their life. So we have hired 5 new principals, as you all know, if you've been a part of that and seen them come through. Very excited about it. They are great staff that are really building our team. We also have added 7 new vice principals to our ranks. Same thing, great hires, looking forward to all the good work. We have a interim principal right now, which is our vice principal, Eric Westberg at Marion Mix, who is going to be filling in the time period that we do an appropriate search for the replacement at Marion Mix. We feel confident about that. Because we're a year-round division, we do a state of the division with principals. We'll have that in September. So after they have started the year, we'll come together and look at what we've accomplished, where we want to go, and see where we are at that September point. And then as just a side note, we like to include, we've really increased our numbers in transitional kindergarten. We continue to explore how that works in Elk Grove. And as of print and delivery on this, we had 115 transitional kindergarten classes, which is more than doubled from what we had last year. And with that, I'll pass it back to my colleague.
Thank you, ma'am. Thankfully, secondary education gets a little bit longer summer than elementary, so that piece is nice because we need that time during the summer, not only for our summer learning, but just supporting families with enrollment and then working with our principals and master scheduling team, finishing off the master schedules for the year. We too did some hiring this summer. We were fortunate to hire a secondary director. We also hired a principal at Valley High School, and we currently have 2 principal vacancies, one at Harriet Eddy, and we'll have a familiar name, Don Ross, one of our retirees from last year, is going to come back and help us support them as we transition through that hiring process. And then Mr. Cheney is going to stay at Cosumnes Oaks until we backfill that position prior to his coming up and supporting us in secondary ed. We have 6 new vice principals out at our sites, and then we most recently just held our secondary kickoff yesterday morning, where we had our theme was Mission Possible. That mission is possible, and continuing to reflect on data as we look at our practices and through stretching, growing, and leading with our teams on our sites. Expanded learning, probably the biggest change that we have coming up is the attendance recovery. We do have that TK through 12. That'll be new this year. We had a great opportunity this summer with some in-person classes for our secondary program, such as physical education, where we piloted some programs this summer, working through tech services and Synergy to implement those practices for taking attendance and so forth that we'll work on throughout the year as we continue to pilot that program on attendance recovery. A lot of before and after school programs, 9 hours daily through the 44 elementary sites in Jesse Baker, adding in the TK and K before and after school at all 43 sites. Let's see, 15,000 students enrolled in after-school programs, TK through 12. So about a quarter of the district is participating in after-school. We're continuing with our after-school credit recovery offered at our high schools for students to retake classes that they might not have been as successful in, or retake and earn A to G if they had less than a C on those. So that's a great opportunity for all of our secondary students to be able to participate in, as well as the summer program in our elementary TK through 6, and then I talked about it briefly with 9 through 12 for high school. We'll be getting that data shortly from our summer program as we review that each year to see where there's opportunities for improvement. We still have ongoing intersession opportunities at our year-round sites, and then also offering fall, winter, and spring camps along with Saturday sessions for additional learning opportunities outside of the school day. I'll turn it over to Mr. Singh.
Thank you, Mr. Schweitzer. Special ed. We continue to grow in our services in the special ed department. We opened 14 new self-contained classes, excuse me, for 25-26. And we have been focused on making sure there's a program at every feeder region. So very excited that 8 out of 9 middle schools and all of our high schools have a level 2 program. So that's exciting news, so that kids can stay in their communities if we can. The other thing that's exciting about special ed is we are working on an assessment called the Environmental Independence Review, EIR, which will help us make some decisions and help the IEP teams to have data to determine how we continue to foster independence for students in the school setting. And then the last area of focus for special ed is on our certificated and classified recruitment and a very strong partnership with human resources in getting our own employees to work with our students, the work we've done with our bargaining partners on our different level of paras, the work we've done with our LVNs, and I'll speak more of that in health services, but that's kind of been the focus in special ed.
I have the pleasure of talking about staff development. This is my rookie year here in Elk Grove, and this is my first experience with pre-service. When I first got here, I went to a DEI training on a rainy Saturday, and I wasn't expecting everyone to show up. And I get there, and the parking lot is filled, and teachers are in the classroom, administrators, and I texted Mr. Cerruti and Mr. Hoffman. I said, wow, this is impressive, the work ethic, and to see the teachers here learning on a rainy Saturday. They were getting paid, but it's still a rainy Saturday coming out. Well, staff development for us for pre-service, it's a lot of preparation to get ready to do all the staff development kind of kickoff for all the teachers. And so I'm still trying to get the schedule in my mind, but we have 3 different pre-services. July 14th, we did a pre-service for our year-round schools. We still have upcoming on Monday, August 11th, Mod T and traditional. And then the 12th, we have secondary. And so what we did this year, we have an opportunity to bring together grade level teams so they can learn together with their colleagues who are in the common grade. So because we don't necessarily have the space for that, it's rare that we're able to do that. So we were able to bring grade level teams together. And our theme was universal access, widen the doors to learning. So we really emphasized how to access and get students who are diverse learners, making sure they learn in the classroom and not just teach to the top, but to make sure we reach all of the students. So that was it's a very highly engaging and collaborative time. I want to make sure that, and for the next 2 days, I at least be able to invite you if you can get out and get to see the presentation. We also have staff onboarding. We have classes throughout the summer for staff. So between June 1st and through August 30th, there's about 27 courses scheduled and a variety of courses, 41 sections, about 750 employees will be served. Our key initiatives for this year, under the multi-tiered systems of support, sometimes you think of just behavior and maybe social emotional learning, but academic is a part of that, and academic incorporates our instructional framework, which emphasizes high quality curriculum instruction and assessment, but it also emphasizes social emotional learning in the classroom, restorative practices, and then inclusive practices, making sure we give us all students accessibility to the curriculum, that we're culturally and linguistically responsive. So very excited about our teachers learning, because if our teachers are learning, our adults are learning, we know our students will be learning. So I'll turn that over to Lisa Lavassa.
Hey, good evening. I have the pleasure of sharing a few supports that we offer our families during the summer and throughout the school year. So, of course, most important is making sure that our families have their students enrolled in our schools. So the FACE department helps on a regular basis with our school employees, our front office staff, to make sure our families have the supports they need to get their students enrolled in our schools, as well as various supports to make sure that they have a successful year. Some examples of those might be if they're a newcomer, they can get supports from our EL department and from our FACE department with translation and understanding the various documents. There's workshops offered. We also provide food distribution to our families. You saw earlier our Calvine principal and vice principal, they have generously donated their parking lot to distribute food for our families, and you can see the schedule right here. You are welcome to come to any of those. We would love to have you. And then we want to make sure that our parents are able to communicate with their teachers, which is incredibly important with their teachers and their principals. So we want to make sure parents have Parent View activated as well as talking points. Hold on. There we go. Another support that the Communications Department and the Family and Community Engagement Department offers is making sure that our families fill out the educational benefits form. This is a collaboration that I'm really proud of between the fiscal side of the house and the Ed Services Schools side of the house. We all come together to make sure that our families receive the messaging behind the importance of filling out these forms so that we can provide these different resources for our students. We do this in various ways. We've created different slides for a presentation for back to school night, messaging for principals to send out to families through talking points, as well as for any teachers that want to send out messaging through talking points to make sure that parents understand what these forms are and that they will fill them out and return them. And then, of course, we want our students in the classroom. We want them to come to school every day. So our communications department, along with family and community engagement, continues to provide support throughout the school year, including the summer, of making sure that our families understand the importance of coming to school every day. I don't know about you, but when I was in kindergarten was very different. So was TK, so was preschool. So we want to make sure that our families understand and start creating good habits from the very beginning so that they can get their kids to school every day, so their kids don't miss those important opportunities. And then we'll continue with our campaign, attendance campaign of You Belong Here. We want to make sure students know that they belong in our schools, and we want them to make sure they feel connected so they come every day. I believe I'm turning it over to Mr. Singh.
All right. Health services. We have there was an immunization clinic today at Samuel Jackman, and I happened to go there this afternoon, and we had 130 kids when I was there that were taken care of today. So those numbers are prior to the immunization clinic today, and then we have one tomorrow at Rudder Middle School. So, but when this was put together about a couple of days ago, we had 2 summer immunization clinics, and by then we had 159 students vaccinated, and we had 5 more left. So from tomorrow we'll have 3 more left. So opportunities for families to come and take advantage of that service. We have had extensive work done by our school nurses, our health assistants, our health records assistants, and other office staff as a partner, as a team, communicate with families over the summer in regards to the need for immunization for the first day of school following the California immunization law, especially with Tdap and DTaP. Those are 2 different. I just learned that today too, so that was exciting. And then school nurses have been working to update and create health plans. We have 3,674 health plans for students across the district with fiscal health conditions, and that requires communication with the family, with the medical providers, and all that. And then we also have been in contact with families and guardians for current doctor's note, especially when we need to revise the health plans for kids. And then we are coordinating to ensure that health staff are in place and trained for the first day of school needing daily health procedures. And we have 220 students who need daily health procedures. So we actually brought in all our health services team this summer and trained them on health procedures. And the other piece that's really exciting that I'll just add there is we thank you to the board and to our partnership with CSEA. We had our own LVN job description, so we've been busy hiring for LVNs so that we can have our own people do our work.
All right, back to me. So you can see we are ready, or nearly ready, because we haven't completely launched all of our first days. A lot of good work has gone on over the last couple of weeks, then that work will continue to make sure we have a really strong, successful start. Looking at the 25-26 school year, there's a lot of of work to do and challenges ahead. We know that there's some economic volatility and challenges. We have expiring funds that we're going to be addressing through our budget priority process. We also have funds that live in an ongoing source that we can look at and be strategic with. So as we continue through the 25-26 year, focusing on our budget priorities and really kind of getting through the next 6 months, you can see that it is a collective group of work, the entire cabinet team, all of our labor partners, the updates with the board, the meetings that we'll have over the course of the next 6 months to continue the strong start of 25-26 and make sure we stay focused on the priorities that we have. And together, it takes all of us. And with that, we'll take any questions.
Thank you very much. All right, board members, any questions?
I have some
With Ms.
comments.
Davis.
I just want to go over a couple points. On the transportation slide, there was the free ride through RT. I'd like to get more information out to families. Those generally show up in the office in a box. The offices don't know what to do with them. Some get handed out, some don't. And I think that would be beneficial to a lot of our older students to get to and from school freely every day. So that's just from my experience. The annual active shooter drill, I participated in that this year. It was amazing. I know that I walked away feeling that if I had known that information while I worked in the school office, I would have felt a lot safer. I know we have a great security team, but it really showed what they're trained to do. And I'd like to see more employees go out and view that if possible, to know that it's there and what they should do and what their part in it is. Under the expanded learning, I hope to see programs available at some point for our middle school students. There seems to be a void there, and I don't want to lose any of our students at any level. And on the pre-service piece, I'd like to add, at the school site training, bringing our classified staff into some of that training. They don't hear the information given to the teachers during that time period. They come the first day and they don't know the schedules or any of the new things that are going on. So I would like if we could figure out a way to bring the classified staff into it. They are a part of the team, but I know at that point they don't quite feel like it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Albiani? Mr. Yang?
Yep. Thank you for the very informative presentation. Appreciate that. I have a couple points I want to make and questions for clarification. So first of all, I really like the fact that you all presented from site improvement through various of school sites, transportation to food, and all the way to staff training. And yeah, there's just a lot of great information in there. I would like to ask some questions regarding the MTSS inclusive practices, the key initiatives. I just wanted to make sure that I understand, the public understand. And so this key initiative for this MTSS, how many staff are involved as far as the overall school district, and how often?
Thank you for the question. I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Collier.
So for the pre-service, we're to get all the teachers and the administrators, APs, principals, and even as much as possible, the district administrators. So all those parties are involved. And then throughout the year, as we do professional learning through what we provide through PL Essentials, and then it's also emphasized at the school site as they do their own pre-service and they do their own professional learning. MTSS is a constant thing that's threaded throughout the schools. And so it's oftentimes people think it's like it's a thing or it's an event, but it's a system in which you start out with tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3. And it's a constant thing that we want to get better with so that we are able to better serve our students.
Okay, so, I mean, just a picture that shows on the presentation, the inclusive practices, I listed the very important stuff on there. So how often do they have those type of meeting or training?
For the for us at the CPL, we have PD that we provide. Various from math, English, social studies. So I would say constantly, once or twice a week. At the school sites, I'm not as familiar, but I believe there's a once a week, a Wednesday or early out in which they do their professional learning.
And that's all staff?
All teachers and administrators.
All grade level, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. And then for the recovery from poor grades for students, provide after school. How do we communicate to the students and maybe even the parents how they could get more information about this program?
Yeah, generally our counselors provide that information. They bring in students, meet with them one-on-one, communicate with their families when there's opportunities for that. We also have schedules for the after-school program that are posted, sent out in weekly newsletters, posted on the website. In many of our high schools with the credit recovery, they're also starting to offer that during the school day. We recognize students have lives outside of school, and sometimes it's difficult for them to stay afterwards. So having those opportunities during the school day as one of their classes to be able to take online courses and make up those credits is a great opportunity we can provide for them.
Yeah, I think this program is an excellent program to recover poor grades. I just wanted to reiterate that it's important for us to make sure that the parents also are aware of this, because a lot of times the students may be, I would say, lack of motivation and lack of understanding of the importance of this program to recover from poor grades. So if we could do any sort of remedy anything in that process so that we could really get to the parents. Because I know students with bad grades in our school district, and the counselor may contact the students, but the parents weren't contact. So in that sense, I think that we lose the opportunity to make sure that those students will take this opportunity, because this opportunity is a very important opportunity for the student to regain, or I would say it's recover from poor grade. So I just want to reiterate that. And I also wanted to give kudos to the active shooting drill. I wasn't there, but from what I heard from Ms. Davis, is a very good drill. So I would definitely encourage and recommend that we will provide that to all staff, and that would be a great thing. So I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Zhang, any questions? Okay. Ms. Ballerini?
I have questions and a comment. First of all, Susan got a lot of my questions. Good job, you beat me. All right. And I've been contacted by a couple of parents at the elementary schools. They're confused about the after-school programs, who they're available for, if there's room in them, what happens in the different programs, all of those different things. What goes out to them from the school itself?
So Erin Sipes, who's the director of expanded learning, sends direct information on how people qualify and how they're accepted. What you could do in that situation is direct them back to the school principal or to elementary education. You may have heard from more individuals because at some sites they're more impacted.
Right.
They've accepted 800 applications and there's only room for 80 spots if it's the TK piece of it. So Some of it is just the way the program space has been provided, but I think the best way to approach that would be to direct them back to the school principal who does have that information, and then if we need to provide further support, we'll do that in elementary education.
So the principal, not necessarily just the front office?
Correct.
Okay, and not through their teachers themselves, because the teachers probably don't know yet either.
Yeah, a lot of principals, or I'm sorry, a lot of parents will go directly to their teacher, the classroom teacher,
Right.
but the site principal does have that information and might be able to give a bigger picture view of it.
Okay, perfect. And as on the active shooter drill, I was there as well. Susan and I had an interesting day of that. And I just wanted to put a shout out to the Elk Grove High School football team and the Florin Law Academy. The students were very good actors. Let's put it that way. It was. When you really think about what you're there practicing, it can really be kind of depressing if you really want to know the truth. And something that really hit me home was when they talked about the police at the beginning were talking about all of the incidents that have happened over time and the fact that Columbine happened in 1999. And I looked at the students and I realized, oh my goodness, those kids weren't even alive when Columbine happened. And I remember Columbine because I worked in a library at the time and thought, oh, okay, this is kind of scary. So it's just interesting to see how over time things have changed. And I think it's wonderful that we do that kind of, have that opportunity to practice that. And I want to go every year and see what more they've learned. And now, as a proud mother, I get to say this too. If you're listening, Stephanie, my daughter, this is her 20th year teaching. I don't know how that's possible because I am only 39. But this is her 20th year teaching. And I wouldn't be a good mother if I didn't say what she's been whining at me, talking to me about all week, which is, why do they have to do professional development on the first day? I need to get my classroom ready. So I have said my piece, Stephanie. You're welcome. That is all.
Thank you. Ms. Moore.
Thank you. I was out of town during the active shooter training day, but I hope that we do that every year, and I would love an invitation next time we do it because I think that's great that we did that. I also would like to thank the staff for addressing the intercom replacement projects. I think that's really important, and that's something I did bring forward to the staff at TR Smedberg, CAMS, and PGHS after my school tours there. And so I really appreciate that we addressed that because I know that was a concern to the administration, and it's really important to keep our students and staff safe. So I really appreciate that we addressed that. One thing that wasn't really addressed is landscaping maintenance. Is that something that we do in preparation for the new school year and throughout the school year?
Yes. Yes, we do. So we do have a really great grounds team that goes out and kind of works on priority projects, which is knocking down the grass. If I were with them, you got to get the grass knocked down. We do strive for great curb appeal, but it has been challenging to maintain that. But we do try our best to get out to every single campus, make sure we're weeding the different planters, and either when we're redoing landscaping or building new schools. We're in the middle of course, a lot of modernizations and new constructions. We're working really closely with the grounds team for water tolerant plants and making sure we do weed ground cover. So we don't, so the maintenance isn't quite as intense. So it's something that we work towards, but definitely an area that we're constantly chasing.
Yeah, I just wanted to bring that up because I know both the Sheldon High School and Sierra Enterprise principals mentioned that was a concern to me. They had very tall weeds and they felt like it impacted their campus beauty, and anyway, so I just want to make sure we're striving to do a little better with that. Can you tell us a little bit about what we do for pest control, specifically, since it's a new year, like do we address that over the summer? How do we address it throughout the year?
Yeah, so pest control over the summer, a lot of times as teachers are preparing to leave for summer, we want them to kind of pack up stuff, take personal things home so we can clean the carpets and deep clean, make sure that there's certainly no food or crumbs, anything that the rodents or creatures like. And so that's step one. I know that's not the right technical term. My biologist husband would be disappointed with that. But so that's the preventative stuff that we do. Our custodians go through and we send site teams, especially in the year round, because really there's 11 days, Mr. Hoffman, that year-round schools have almost 11 days that they have off. So we really have to bring extra supports. And we live in California where the insects and the rodents are plentiful. So those are the preventative works. When we have an issue that comes, we have ants, we have cockroaches, we have mice or rats that we have some sort of infestation. We have contracts that we work with pest control agencies. They're really on speed dial, and they get either within the same day or within 48 hours, and they'll continue to come. It's certainly not perfect, and it usually takes 2 or 3 treatments of that, but a lot of it can be addressed through prevention with just good cleaning and keeping things lifted off the floor. But when we do have some sort of outbreak, that's how we respond.
Okay. Well, I just know that rodents specifically have been an issue at PGHS and CAMS. It sounds like that has been maybe addressed for now. And then cockroaches at various schools. And I know specifically at McGarvey that's an issue. And so I was just wondering, like, with the year-round schools, it seems like that could be more challenging. Maybe, I don't know, if the chemicals, how that works with the chemicals and students being present more throughout the year. But I just really think that's something we need to work on, because when you have staff saying, I move a box and cockroaches move, or I look under the sink and there's cockroaches, or kids saying that they're in the classroom, I would like to see that we can do better.
Definitely.
I think that makes a more friendly learning environment. So I was just curious about that. And then we were talking about campus supervisors. Again, I just want to advocate to ensure that we have all the campus supervisors we need at all the campuses to help with safety and also keeping restrooms open. Again, that's super important to me that we are doing that for our students. And then with the TK facilities and, the required restrooms that the TK classrooms they require, as I visit sites, I've seen situations where, because we have to give the kindergarten classrooms to TK classrooms, then kindergartners are sharing restrooms with 6th graders and situations like that. And I just want to make sure we're constantly reevaluating those situations, like what do we need to do for each site, and is there a way that maybe kindergartners can be sharing with 1st graders instead of 6th graders? I know if I had a kindergartner, I would not want them sharing a restroom with 6th graders, things like that. And then I appreciate the mention of special education, or focusing on addressing the regional needs for special education. And I continue to advocate that we do that, especially in my area. That is really important because with the Rancho Cordova area, we do not have all of those needs met regionally. And because of the geographical location of those schools, we are very far removed. That area is very far removed from some of those services. So I continue to advocate for that as we look at as we're building these new sites and things like that. But I really appreciate the presentation and all of your work. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Ms. Baldwin.
I reiterate a lot of the things that fellow board members have mentioned here, particularly around the active shooter training. It was very impressive, especially to be out there. Got a chance to be with Chad out there And I think they did mention it would be very beneficial for more administrators to try and attend. So I believe they're going to be moving the location to Elk Grove High next year. So that'll be really interesting to see that dynamic and our law enforcement to be able to get good training around our different sites. And I think, the public should really know that this really, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when, and we need to be prepared. It is not something that we want to ever have to experience, but in the event that it should happen, families should know that we're doing everything we can to coordinate between our school sites, local law enforcement, SROs, and our campus security to make sure that we do everything we can to keep our kids safe and our teachers and staff. Also, just wanted to ask, I wanted to let you know that if risk management is needing any additional support with inspecting playgrounds, I'm happy to come and test out slides and swings. I'm very good at those. So we just wanted to offer that. And then I did have some questions, just a little, one question mainly around the special education slide. Kudos. I think it's great that our growth has happened, especially to see that the level 2 classes are going to be offered at 8 of the 9 middle schools and at all of our high schools. It's very important to me and to a lot of families that their kids get to stay in their neighborhoods, right? They get to go to their neighborhood schools and not have to, worry about being bused to various locations because that's the only place that meets their needs. So I'm really excited for that, excited to get out and see those this coming school year. I was curious, have we done communication with, different, our strategic partners around the environmental independence review? Because I do think that this could potentially be controversial, and it's important that we start the communication so that we have that, that we're having that open dialogue.
Yes, we have no official communication. We have conversations. There's a committee that's working on that. We have various groups who are part of it: psychologists, behaviorists, teachers. And I've personally had some communication with some of our community partners about the work that's entailed in that. Yes.
I think it would be beneficial too to just be bringing up these topics during the CACs and the parent advisories, just so that we can get real-time feedback, I think, from families. I think, every family is different and the needs of our children are different, and how we go about meeting those needs. It's important that our families know that it is a team. So it's not going to be a matter of you're being told that it is going to be a certain prescription. Like, that's not how this process works. It's collaborative. Parents are the best advocates, and if you don't have an advocate, you definitely can reach out to our community partners. But I do hope that we are really transparent about our intention around the environmental independence review, and really getting to the connection and aligning it to what is best for students and who they will show us they are. So I hope that that's something that it's going to go over well, and that we'll all be able to, be able to have another tool in our tool belt to best support our students moving forward.
Thank you very much. I have nothing additional to add, so I will say thank you very much to the senior staff for that presentation, and best of luck over the next month. We are really, really excited, so thank you. Yeah, new school year. All right, next up we have one action item, Elk Grove Unified School District Community Facilities District 2025-26 tax report and second reading of Ordinance Number 1, 2025-26. Dr. Coates.
All right, well, thank you again. So tonight, this, as you just read, this is the second reading of our Community Facilities District 2025-2026 tax report and the second reading of Ordinance Number 1 for 25-26. We are asking for the second reading of the tax report and to adopt Ordinance Number 1, 25-26 as a recap at the The board, at the July 22nd meeting, opened the hearing to receive public testimony regarding the tax. There was no testimony given. We closed the meeting to public input, and the board conducted its first reading and continued the item to today. For the second, public notice for tonight's meeting was placed in the Elk Grove Citizen on August 1st. As a reminder, the tax report continues the current and maximum rate of $45.84 per year for existing development and $117.84 per year for future development, as specified in resolution number 27 from 1986 to 87, due to the March 10th, 1998 bond election. Future development occurring from July 1st, 1998 through June 30th of 2001 will be assessed at $180 per year per taxable unit, and future development occurring from July 1st, 2001 forward will be assessed at $200 per year per taxable unit. So with that summary, I do ask that the board approve the ordinance number 1.
Thank you very much. Mr. Yang, do we have any blue cards on this item?
Board President, there's no blue card on this item.
Very well, then I will entertain a motion to approve the 2025-2026 Elk Grove Unified School District Community Facilities District Tax Report.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Yang.
Second.
Seconded by Ms. Baldwin. Any discussion, board members? All right, seeing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you very much. All right, we are on to our last item, board member and superintendent reports. Mr. Superintendent, anything? All right, none. Board members, any reports from committee work? Anything else? All right, seeing none, then we are adjourned at 7:32 p.m.